What about your sweet tooth? Do you crave desserts? Do you eat too many chocolates? Stay tuned for some delicious desserts using God's ideal sugars. Hello, I'm Marcella Lynch, and welcome to Food for Thought, the cooking show that features God's eating plan as unfolded through Scripture and through an understanding of God's other book, the Book of Nature. What about your sweet tooth? Do you crave desserts? If I snooped around in your house right now, what sweet treats would I find? Is there a hidden box of chocolate candy or two? How about packaged cookies, sweet pastries, a cake or pie? We all enjoy sweets, I'm sure. Today, we will take a look at God's kind of desserts. Sugar can clog your system and lower resistance to disease if eaten in excess. Sure you do not overeat on sugar is to use sugars in their original setting, right in the fruit. Eat as if your hometown were Eden and everything you ate was picked fresh from a tree or a plant, is what one of my favorite little books says. Treat Your Body Like a Porsche by Malin Schertz and Leland Wade reminds us. They have a cute section in this book entitled, Speak to Me, God, I've got 10 minutes to shop Safeway. They warn us not to let the supermarket aisles become a battle zone where tempting sights and smells lure us into impulse buying. Don't allow yourself to grab that box, this package, those candy bars, they say. Remember the Eden principle. Plan a week's healthy menus in advance, shop from a pre-planned grocery list, and pray in advance for self-control as you enter the battle zone of the supermarket. As you push your cart down those aisles, you'll naturally try to avoid much sugar. You know, sugar is a concentrated energy source that doesn't have any solid nutritional value. In other words, it's empty calories. And scientists are discovering that sugar is far harder on the human body than they used to think. Medical authorities are now saying that sugar possibly contributes to obesity, diabetes, hypoglycemia, and heart disease. And it's no use switching to honey, maple syrup, or molasses. These are simply sugars in another form. And keep in mind that one 12-ounce can of cola has 10 teaspoons of refined sugar. Jane Brody, in her book on Nutrition, reported a horrifying bit of research conducted by Dr. Aaron Cohen of Israel's Hadassah Medical College. Now, Dr. Cohen studied 16,000 people trying to find out how the sugar they ate affected them. And about a third of these people, which was 5,000 people, had recently immigrated from Yemen to Israel. What happened to them will make your hair stand on end. In Yemen, people apparently don't eat much sugar. They evidently have a lifestyle quite a bit closer to Eden's than yours and mine. And Dr. Cohen found that none of the 5,000 immigrants from that country had diabetes. Not a single one. However, and here's the horrifying part, as soon as the Yemenis settled in Israel and began eating the high-sugar Western diet everybody else ate, a number of them developed diabetes. So the first thing to remember as your cart rattles down the supermarket aisle is to buy as little sugar as possible. If you're puzzled by the gram amounts, remember that 4 grams equals about 1 teaspoon. So go for the natural sweetness in fruits and unsweetened fruit juices, along with the bonus of the healthy nutrients these juices provide. All right, so today we're going to be demonstrating several desserts of the Eden type, where we use natural sweets from just the fruit themselves. And I have some helpers again here today. I would like to ask Pat and Mahoko to come, and we're going to work together on some desserts. How are you, Mahoko?
Fine.
Good.
Thank you.
Let's start with the fresh strawberry pie here. And this recipe is easy because it's just fresh strawberries. Let's take a look at the ingredients first. Fresh strawberry pie is 3 cups of mashed strawberries, 1 cup frozen apple juice concentrate, or you can use red berry juice concentrate, 3 tablespoons cornstarch, 1/4 cup water, 1/8 teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon lemon juice, 1 teaspoon olive oil, 3 cups whole strawberries. All right, so the first thing we do, and we have some of it already prepared ahead here to save a little time so we can show you some other things, but we're to mix the cornstarch, water, and salt thoroughly, and it makes this kind of soupy, thickened mixture. And you just divide up the strawberries and you crush part of them, and the other part you just leave whole for later. And this is the mixture that we have that goes into the filling. But you need to thicken that on the stove before you put all these big fat red juicy berries in there, and you get kind of a thickened sauce. And then when you get it all finished, we're going to demonstrate the coconut crust to you in just a moment. And we're choosing the coconut crust for this pie. And I just wanted Mahoko to come out here because I caught her in the back there decorating this beautiful edge on this pie here with some non-dairy whipped topping. And so I said, Mahoko, stop. I want you to show them how you put this beautiful edging on the pie here. Just do it right here. And can you reach over there? Is that okay? Is there any certain technique to that?
No, just practice.
Just practice. And you've got one of those regular cake decorating tubes?
Yes.
All right. That looks so beautiful, Mahoko. I see you have a few blueberries here. I want you to place those around because that would add a little nice bit of color on there too. And we'll just, I'll help you here. We're just going to get some beautiful blueberries here. Doesn't that set it off nicely as we go around here? And this will be so lovely for a light dessert. Just fresh strawberries with no added sugar, with this, just the fruit juice to sweeten them. So there's our beautiful fresh strawberry pie that I could just eat right now. Okay, thanks, Mahoko. Appreciate your being willing to share that idea with us. Okay, Pat, I'm going to give this to you, and we're going to make the coconut crust right now that we put underneath of this pie. I think you can see it very well here, but it's just shredded, unsweetened shredded coconut, and we have that here with a little, we're using tofu milk and a little whole wheat flour. Let me give you the proportions here. It's on page 225 of the Cooking by the Book cookbook. If you have our cookbook or would like to order it, you can watch at the end of the show for the information. But for the coconut crust, it's 1 1/2 cups of macaroon, the fine unsweetened coconut, 1 1/2 tablespoons of whole wheat flour, and then just enough milk to moisten it so that you can pat it into the pie plate. Right, so that's a simple thing to do. You don't even have to know how to roll out a crust. We'll just mix it right here in the pie plate. There's the coconut, and we'll mix the 2 of the dry ingredients together first. And then it's kind of crumbly until it bakes, and then it just holds together nicely with a little bit of liquid. And I love to use my fingers because it's simpler. I don't think that there was ever a tool created that works quite as well as fingers for doing certain jobs in the kitchen. So you just pat it. Sometimes what I do is I take the back of like one of these measuring cups and I just push, and it kind of goes up the sides, and it makes the nice edging. It just kind of glumps together here. And then this coconut crust needs to bake just for a little bit. If you're going to put a thickened fruit pie in here that you're not going to bake anymore in the oven, then you just need to pre-bake this for a little bit. And let's see, the temperature here is 350 for about 8 minutes. So it goes pretty quickly. So this is our coconut pie crust. And this is what we put the berry pie in when we prepared it for you before. Okay? And let's just see if we can try another dessert now. Get going here with the next one, and we're going to have a pudding. Everyone likes pudding too, don't they? I don't know if you know what millet is, but we're going to make a millet date pudding. This is on page 218. And again, millet is a very wonderful natural grain that's alkaline forming, and it's just added with lemon juice, grated coconut, chopped dates, and the sweetness comes from the dates and the honey. We have a little honey and vanilla in here. Let's just take a look at the ingredients first of all, and we'll give them to you exactly so you'll know what's going into the pudding. This pudding is nice served with lemon sauce, but first of all, for the millet date pudding, 3/4 cup of raw millet, 4 cups water, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 cup soy milk powder, 4 tablespoons honey, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 1 teaspoon lemon juice, 1/2 cup grated coconut, and 1/2 cup chopped dates or raisins. And we combine the milk powder and the water, and we cook that first. And we did that ahead because it needed to cook a little bit, and we have cooked this. So right here in this pan, I think what I'll do before I start cooking this recipe, I just want to have that little plate, Pat, and I just want to let them see what this finished product looks like, and then I can take this away. This is the pudding that's been baked here, and I just wanted to spoon a little bit of this out so that you can see kind of what it looks like underneath, and then we can put on the topping afterwards. This is a very nice pudding, and let me just grab this towel here. We've made a lemon sauce to put over it. We're going to give you the ingredients for the lemon sauce, and this is a nice naturally sweet lemon sauce that is made with pineapple juice and natural sweets. But isn't that lovely? And this is very nutritious. In fact, you could just eat this millet pudding for breakfast and not feel guilty at all if you just wanted it like a breakfast cereal. But this is the finished product of our millet date pudding, and what we're making right now is the first step is to take the millet and the milk and put it together. So we have that here. The nice thing about this millet pudding is that you don't have to cook it on the stove except for this first step. It just bakes in the oven. So this is a Pyrex baking dish right here. And what it tells us to do is to just put the milk and the millet once it's been cooked. And I'm going to give you that exact amount of time here so that you'll know. Let's see here. This is just bring it to a boil. That's all you have to do. Right. Thank you, Pat, for reminding me about that. And then it's got a little bit of salt in there with it. And then we just add the other ingredients, and then we bake it in the oven for 1 hour at 350. So here are the chopped dates, a little bit of vanilla, the coconut, and the honey, and this is a little lemon juice. Is that right? That's it. No, that wasn't lemon juice. We have a nice and interesting ingredient that we just put in there. I'm not sure what it was, but I'm sure it'll be good. It looks like lemon juice. That's okay. That would be pretty good in here, wouldn't it? Okay, this honey will be nice. All right. And this is already in a baking dish, and you just stir this up. And when this comes out of the oven in an hour from now, it'll be firm. And after it chills, it's firm, even more firm. And if you like to serve this warm, you serve it warm, or if you just want to leave it cold in the refrigerator, just suit yourself. I like the lemon juice a little warm myself and the pudding cold. So this is going to go into the oven, and that's a simple millet pudding with dates and coconut in it. Okay, let me just tell you about the lemon sauce. It's on page 226 in our cookbook, and we have the recipe here. And the ingredients include 1 cup pineapple juice, and if you don't have that, just use water. 1 1/2 tablespoons cornstarch, a pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of lemon rind, and that's really nice, that lemon rind in there, and 1/3 cup of honey. And you just whiz the juice and the cornstarch and all the ingredients together in a blender and just pour it in a little saucepan and stir it and cook it until the cornstarch makes the mixture thick. and that's it. Most lemon sauce recipes that you buy are loaded with sugar, and this one just has the natural pineapple juice and a little bit of honey for sweetening. So it's very good. And I also use this lemon pudding over a lot of other things, sometimes the apple cake that's in the cookbook, and it's nice to have the lemon sauce too. Okay, Pat, it looks like we have fudge coming up.
Yes,
hey, you told me that you have always craved sugar, is that right?
I always enjoy sweet things, and you know what I kind of do to brace myself against being tempted? I just fix something like this and have it around, and when everybody else is eating their gooey things, I don't feel deprived. I just enjoy this.
Well, that's a good tip. If you're going to get off of sugar, you need to find something else to take its place, or you're going to have a problem, aren't you? You know, Pat, I think even though we enjoy looking at these things, we need to take them out of the way so that I have room to work with this food grinder here. So I'll let you take the pie. I could just put the pudding right over here. And this is the Carob Superfudge. And we mentioned about chocolate, and we just wanted to show you how to make fudge out of carob. This is going to be sliced, and maybe before the show is finished, we could cut a little piece out of here and let them see what a little chunk of this looks like. We're going to demonstrate this right now. And let's take a look first at the recipe. It's on page 231 of the cookbook, and it's called Carob Superfudge. And here are the ingredients for that one. 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup carob powder, 1 cup peanut butter, 1/2 cup coconut that's shredded, 1 cup of date butter. And to do that, you take 1 cup of chopped dates cooked in 1/2 cup of water until it's soft, and that's date butter. Add a cup of walnuts that have been chopped and 1 teaspoon vanilla. Okay, so that's the ingredients. And what you need to do is take the 1/2 cup of water and the 1/2 cup of carob powder, and you need to mix them together and just boil it together. And then you just sort of stir it and cook it for 5 minutes until you get a smooth paste. And so we just did that off the show so that we would have this ready. And you see what we have here is this nice smooth paste just made out of the carob powder and the water. And that looks a lot like chocolate syrup for some reason, doesn't it? At this point, though, it doesn't have quite the sweetness that the chocolate fudge sauce would. Okay, and then the next part is to just mix all of the ingredients together and press them into a pan. And I think I'll just be lazy and do that here with my kitchen machine. If you have a kitchen machine, just put it to use. This is the bowl here when we just put your wire whips in there. You'll see here that we have these wire whips that do a very nice job of mixing things. And here we have the walnuts. We have coconut. And we have, let's see, the next thing. We have some date butter. This is the butter that we make by mixing the dates, like it said in the directions there, together with the water. This is all part of God's natural sweeteners. Okay, we have this 1/2 cup carob and 1/2 cup water that we simmered together. We're going to add this, of course. We have to have that little chocolatey look and taste. This isn't going to taste quite like chocolate, but it's very good. Now, optional is this peanut butter, and I'm trying to decide if I want to put this in. I think what I'm going to do is put half of it in. We're going to compromise here. If you add this peanut butter, you may have to compensate by making something a little drier to hold it all together as firmly as you want it. And this is a nice, soft, natural peanut butter. Right, we need to just mix this for a few moments to get everything mixed together, and then we'll be pressing it right into our pan. That looks great. Now you chill this afterwards too so that it will continue to set up. But if you want it less soft, you want to harden it up a little, then don't put the peanut butter in or add more coconut or think of something else. Even like toasted wheat germ, it doesn't affect the flavor so much, but it would make it a little bit more firm if that's the way you like it. So let's go ahead and put this into this pan. You can decorate the top. You know what you can also do is you can wet your hands with a little water, and you can roll this into a ball or little logs and make like little seed candies, little chocolates. Roll them in ground up walnuts or coconut, and you chill those, put them in those little tiny paper candy cups that you see like in your box of chocolates, and you can give a nice gift away to somebody of some various candies. We have a whole section of our cookbook that is all these natural candies that you can make with dried fruits, with nuts and dates and things like that. So this is a lot of fun. At the holiday times, I like to make up a variety of these candies. All right, so this is the Carob Superfudge recipe. And I'll just let you take this one back, Pat, and we'll make another kind of candy here out of some dried fruits. You know, fruits are God's natural sugars, and they're really wonderful. You get all the fiber and the minerals and vitamins at the same time. You don't feel guilty at all when you eat this kind of desserts. So let's talk about the old-fashioned fruit candy. It's also in the same section of the dessert chapter here on candies, and it's on page 233, and it's called old-fashioned fruit candy. And here are the ingredients. 1 cup, it's about 1/4 pound of dried figs. And you know, if you don't have dried figs, just use something else. 1 cup of pitted dates, 1 cup raisins, 1 cup dried apricots, 1 cup of nuts such as walnuts or pecans or almonds, 1 teaspoon of grated lemon or orange rind, and 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. So this is just a matter of grinding all these things up together, and you can roll them into little balls. You can pat it into a pan just like we did the fudge. Here's some of the fruit candy that you could cut into little wedges. This one has been rolled in the coconut. You know what my mother used to do when I was a child, I still remember it, is that she would take this dried fruit nut mixture that she would grind and make a sandwich between whole wheat bread. And I used to love that better than a peanut butter and jam sandwich, and it brings back a lot of memories about that. Now we're going to need to put a meat grinder attachment on. I don't like to call this a meat grinder. I better call this a food grinder. But we're going to turn this machine on the side here. Let me get this attachment on here first and anchor it into place. And we're going to grind up the nuts and the fruits right together here. All right, is that ready? It is. Here's a little tray that we can put under here, and we'll be all set here. Doesn't really matter which order that you use to put these things through, but we have apricots and we have raisins here. We'll just start in. That's just like magic, isn't it? Now I'm glad you thought of that, Pat. Again, this is one of those times when I just use my hand, because this is kind of a heavy mixture. Just make sure your hands are clean. And go ahead, let's see, Pat, I think I left something there that was a bit of lemon rind or something that gives a real nice zest to the candy. This is just a little bit of lemon rind. So what you do is you just mix this all together, and if you find that it's too stiff, then you can add just a little more lemon juice. But you just mainly want to get it sort of evenly mixed together so that it will hold together nicely, and then you can roll it in coconut and so forth. I love this candy. It brings back lots of memories from when I was a child at home. We've dried our own fruits for quite some time, and it's a very easy, fun thing to do in the summertime. I grew up with a mom that did all this gardening and home canning and freezing of food, and I learned a lot from her, and I just thank the Lord for her every day. So here we'll just take a little portion of this. Pat, while I'm rolling this out, why don't you just bring all the nice things back up here again, and we can just take another quick look at these. And then we're just about to the end of our time here, and we want to just see all these beautiful things that you can make with just fresh or dried fruits, whole grains, nuts and seeds. We call this the Eden diet, eating the way the things come right from the land. And if you like to press this dried fruit candy into a pan and slice it, you can. And hopefully that Carob Superfudge will work also. So this is a very nutritious thing. When you have those nuts, it's almost like a little survival thing that you can simply take with you in a hurry and eat a few of these, and that's just kind of a quick energy meal in itself all the way around. Is that coming out, Pat? We need kind of a little spatula of some kind there, don't we? Anyway, I think maybe the peanut butter that we put into that made it just a little bit soft. And next time we need to just put it a little bit with some more coconut or something. Well, we've had our dessert class. This has been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it. And this has been sponsored by the Three Angels Broadcasting Network. We appreciate your prayers and support.
If you've enjoyed the recipes and cooking tips in this program, you'll want to order our Food for Thought resource sheet. We'll tell you how you can order the cookbooks you've seen used on this program, along with other information that will help you cook healthful, attractive vegetarian meals. For your free copy of our Food for Thought resource sheet, please write to us at Food for Thought, P.O. Box 220, West Frankfort, Illinois 62896, or call 618-627-4651.